What's good, baby? We back. Between the Lines with Coach Stella. We back for our Week 7 recap. I'm Coach Stella. I got my guy, my brother, the owner of Interviews Media, Linnell Lewis. How you doing tonight, bro? How you feeling? Feeling good, feeling good.
Man.
Before we get into everything, we want to apologize to everybody about last week. We had some construction going on downtown at the building, so we couldn't do our Week 6 recap show. So we just wanted to put that out there. So,
Right.
apologies to everybody. A couple people hit me up. They like, what's up with the show last week? So
Yeah, we just
that's
took a bye
always
week.
good.
We just took our bye week, man.
That was
we
our
took our
bye week. But like I said, we had some construction going on here at the building. But we
Yep.
back, baby. We're here for the long haul. Let's talk about our Week 7 recap, baby. We're going
Yes,
to talk
sir.
about
Yes, sir.
Poland at Niles. Before we talk about the game, let's make sure we give a special shout out to our Ellie House player of the game, senior running back, linebacker, Cole Fulton. Cole went crazy, L.
He
19
did.
carries, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. On defense, he gave you 7 tackles and interception. And of course, his team got the win. What you see from Cole?
Man, he dominated the game, but it was slowly. Like it was just consistent, grinding. I'm stronger than y'all.
Yep.
You'll get tired before I do. Just imposing his way on the game on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
You know how Poland played it, very patient. You know,
Yep.
ran Cole. He answered it, man.
It was a real old school feel type of game as far as their game plan and their approach.
Yeah.
The first half, it was 3 yards in the cloud of dust. They stayed patient. The coach stuck with the game plan. And then that second half, they came out, boom, Cole get about a 65-yard run. Boom, he get a 52-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, they opening this thing up, and he on his way, man. So as far as the game, though, Poland at Niles, it was a pretty good game. Poland ended up winning 28-14, but it was a good game. Shout out to the Niles Red Dragons. But what were some of your takeaways from either side, whatever you want to speak on? What were some of your takeaways from the game the other night?
First and foremost, like I always like to mention, the crowd, the environment,
nice
the atmosphere.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
The weather was beautiful. It was a beautiful night for football.
Sure.
The Niles faithful came out and supported. And they created a great environment for football. It was cool to see Niles get the fanfare and support with the tailgating and actually having the game of the week on many platforms, not just ours.
Yep.
So first and foremost, the atmosphere served it right. And then, like I said, the game started out. Both teams filling each other out, going to their number one options. Antoine Gardner toting the ball good. The quarterback for Niles,
Anthony Budak.
The numbers are deceiving.
Yes,
but you know what I'm saying. And if you was at the game, did your phone ring? Your phone ring? Because and respectfully, shout out to Niles, athletic director. They showed us a good time.
Yes.
But look, respectfully, it's a wide receivers coach out here. You know, he would love to work with y'all receivers out there because y'all got to help the quarterback out, man. They left a lot of plays out in the field, and you know what I'm saying, he was out there. He looked, the kid looked good, and he was doing his best to keep him in the game. They were in the game.
Right.
They were in the game.
Even down to about 3 minutes to go.
Right. Yep. Right. And but there were just too many plays that they left on the field that were drew up right, executed right. They just didn't finish.
The receiver just didn't make the plays. So again, shout out to Coach Perry and the athletic director over at Niles. They were gracious with their hospitality and everything. But to piggyback off your point, the receivers in Niles got to help the quarterback out.
They got to.
And not just the quarterback out. It helps the quarterback out. It helps Antoine Gardner out. It helps the play caller out. Because they got a dynamic running back. They got a quarterback who could throw the ball out any part of the field. Late in the half, he had some interceptions, but I think that was because he was trying to force it. Because at that time, I think he felt like he had to make the play.
Right.
Instead of just keep doing what he was doing and making the proper reads and the proper throws. So I totally agree with you. The Niles receivers, and they got some talent because they were getting open.
They were open. They were definitely open.
The coaches had a good game plan, some good plays. They just got to help the quarterback out, make them type of plays. And I kind of think back to how many big-time environments have they been in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you said, like you just spoke on, they were probably the game of the week for 2 or 3 different platforms. The Niles faithful came out tailgating, which I'm sure they do every week, but it was a packed house. And like you said, it was good to see the kids get that type of support.
Right.
But you want to play in them type of environments, but are you ready to play in them type of environments? Because again, to piggyback off your point again, the biggest takeaway from the game for me, from a Niles perspective, was they need them receivers to help out and make some more plays for the quarterback.
I
But
mean, not to take nothing away from Poland,
no,
because they did what they were supposed to do.
Yep.
They made those
Yep.
catches when they did want to run the ball.
Yep.
They was able to get those mid-range completions
Mhm.
and keep those running lanes open for Cole
Yep.
to get 200 of them things.
209 and 3 touchdowns. So again, shout out to both teams. It was a great atmosphere. Shout out to Niles and their community. Coach Perry and the athletic director were great to us. Their hospitality was great. And it was a big time game. And again, our Ellie House player of the game, senior running back linebacker Cole Fulton. Salute to you, Cole. You did your thing. Now let's talk about one more game before we talk about our Buena Vista game of the week and start looking forward to week 8. Girard at South Range.
Okay.
Big time game, big time conference game. I have my eyes on this game going into it. You got two contrasting styles. You got Girard, who like to be 4 or 5 wides. They like to throw it probably 75% of the time. Where you got South Range, they're more ground and pound with a dual threat quarterback. They're balanced, but they want to hang their hat on the run game. When I looked at the score, I didn't expect it to be like that. South Range ended up stretching it out and ended up having a big time win. But I want to focus on South Range quarterback Tristan Toy. He had to take over for a big time quarterback last year that won the state championship. If you watch South Range play last year, they were 4 or 5 wide, a lot of throwing. Really, the ball was in the quarterback's hands. He was really making a lot of the plays. They come back this year with a junior quarterback in his first year, and this kid making plays. He ain't throwing it 25, 30 times, but if you look at his numbers, 8 out of 12. Efficient.
Efficiency.
109 yards. And then on the ground, they give you 45 yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you lump all that together, you got a quarterback who didn't turn over the ball. He threw for over 100, got you 4 total touchdowns, and then on defense, he gets you a pick. So from the outside looking in, I know you was looking more so at the Girard and the quarterback. Shout out to Tough McConaughey. You having a great year. You putting up some big time numbers. But when you was looking back at that game, reading on and doing our research, what are a couple things that stuck out to you with that Girard South Range game?
Well, like you just said, the ghost quarterback, so to speak, respectfully coming in,
Right.
where you have a quarterback who's lighting up, he's lighting up the numbers.
Yep.
So if there's times where there's 2 types of quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? There's playmakers and there's ones who just don't make mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The game managers, and then there's
Yep.
playmakers. And obviously South Range's quarterback, he was able with the 45 yards, keeping the defense honest, always making them account for that extra person, whether it be through the air or him being able to scramble.
Absolutely.
So, that ended up being the fact.
That ended up being the deciding factor because, like you said, Girard's quarterback, he put up a lot of yards and a lot of stats. Good quarterback, great high school quarterback, but they had 3 turnovers. So what you said, that was really the difference in the game. Because if you get South Range 3 turnovers with a short field, they're going to capitalize on that.
Right.
It's hard enough to score on them and stop them from scoring in the regular flow of a game. If you get them 3 turnovers, especially early in the game, and they can jump out on you 21-0, I don't want to say the game is over because the game is never over, but that's a tall task to climb out. That's a tall hill to climb out. So, like you said, I think Tristan Toy was able to combine both and be the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you normally got game managers and you got playmakers. He was able to find that happy medium and be both.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be a game manager, make sure we're getting in and out the huddle, efficient, get our playmakers the ball. But when coach called my number and need me to be a playmaker, I can do that too. And then also I can go over here on defense, play safety for you and get you a pick. So we wanted to make sure we give some love to Tristan Toy, man. You having a hell of a year. I know on this show we've been talking a lot about Blake Ewart and Aiden Dominguez. Shout out to Coach Rock. Coach Rock and his defensive-minded coach. But I wanted to make sure I gave some love to Tristan Toy tonight, man. He having a hell of a season. Shout out, Tristan. You doing your thing.
Absolutely. Shout out, Tristan.
Now here we go, baby. Our Buena Vista Cafe game of the week for week 8. The Cleveland Glenville Tarblooders travel to take on the Archbishop Hoban Knights. Go.
Hope I'm excited for this game.
Yes.
I've been telling you for a few weeks. I'm excited to see what the atmosphere gonna be like. We got to go to Hoban for their medium day this summer, and they had this game circled. They
Yep.
told us they wasn't
Yep.
bashful about it at all.
Yep.
We looking to play Glenville.
Yep.
They always love that type of game. They love the the edge that Glenville brings. And what it pushes them to play at a different level,
Absolutely.
and they believe, and they got the track record to prove that. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
built the Play-Dohs, the Cleveland Glenvilles, and do what they do. But I'm also looking forward to see. I'm looking forward to see that Gin swag. You
Right.
feel me? That Gin swag. Um, we all know Hoban. You know what I'm saying? It's been four score. I don't know how many years ago since
Right.
they've been losing, but
Right.
don't let those two losses on Glenville's record make. Don't
Absolutely.
let them fool you because that one loss is
Absolutely.
IMG
Right.
and the other loss is the
It's
Avon
Avon.
team that beat Camp McKinley. So
7-0 right now.
So, they're playing the type of schedule,
Yep.
and with the record they have and the competition that they play, they're coming in across my timeline. Deshaunte Jones, I see him come across my timeline. They're doing a Shador Sanders.
Oh, they
So,
flexing.
oh yeah,
Okay.
they coming in. They
Okay.
coming in
That's
swagged
the type of
out.
swag they
Yeah, they
coming in
coming in
with.
swagged out. They coming in. They feeling loose. According to how I seen it. So I'm looking forward to a show. What you got?
Hey man, number one, like you said, the atmosphere gonna be amazing. I can't wait. I'm gonna be honest. I'm jealous, man. I wish I could be playing or coaching in this type of game.
All
If
right.
you're a competitor, if you love the sport, if you love competition, if you love life, if you love seizing the moment, these type of games. This is the type of moment. I can't give you an exact number, but I'm gonna guess if you count future Division One players, future FCS players, future Division Two players, future Division Three players, I would guarantee there's going to be at least 50 combined players on this field tonight that's going to play tomorrow night, excuse me, that's going to play college football. So let's start there. Amazing atmosphere, amazing talent on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add in both staffs. Shout out to Coach Tyrell at Hoban, been doing a great job. 5 state championships, then built that program back up.
Mm.
Coach Ginn, a OG in the coaching game. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly how many years he been at Glenville, but it's been over 20 years. I remember Coach Ginn building that thing up when I was in high school in the early 2000s, in the late 90s. Got his first state championship last year. Shout out to Coach Ginn and congratulations for having your first state championship last year. 2 great staffs, 2 great teams with talent, great atmosphere. It can't do nothing but be an amazing night. I just want to be able to enjoy it as much as we can. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
gonna be running around
absolutely.
trying to keep the live updates, but I want to try to soak it up as much as I can also. What I'm looking forward to the most, though, I say it in every big time game. I said it a couple weeks ago when Fitch and Ursuline played. Whatever team, after the
So,
majority of their big time players step up, will win the game. I don't like to give predictions and scores and all of that because all my years of playing and coaching, there's so many factors that go into everything, especially with high school football, because it's still teenagers. Like you never know,
mhm.
somebody's girlfriend could have broke up with them earlier. They could be dealing with family stuff, and they're still kids, so they may not be equipped to handle that and go play a game. So you just never know, and I don't like. So that's why I don't like making predictions on high school games. But I guarantee, whatever team has the most big time players step up for their respective teams will win the game. And I can't wait to be in there, baby. I cannot wait to be up in there.
Well, Coach, here go one thing you can guarantee
Okay.
is that these young men that's going to take the field tomorrow,
Mhm.
these are young men that are cut from a cloth
Yeah, they
of
ready.
Division One
Yeah, they ready.
and professional NFL pros.
Yeah, they ready.
So, it's not a question. Are those kids going to be ready to handle the
Right.
moment? You get
Absolutely.
me saying? So
Absolutely.
you don't go to play for Coach Glenn and again and another congratulations to Coach Glenn. We met him this summer. He was inducted into the first annual National High School Football Hall of Fame. So shout out, Coach.
Congratulations, coach.
Um, and saying he's a
Yep.
galvanizer of people,
Yes.
community.
Yes.
So is what the thing they just left playing the
Yeah,
IMG and
IMG a
got the
couple weeks ago.
halftime speech is going viral as we speak.
Yep.
It's all over. So
Yep.
um they if you go in to play for I'm stuttering. If you go to play for again, then you going to play.
Yeah.
That's because
This what you're looking forward
that's
to.
what you're looking
This type of
forward
games
to.
you're looking forward to.
You know,
You see
so
all the players Coach Ginn has coached over the last 20, 25 years, all the big time games they've been in. Like you said, that these kids been going to the games probably since they've been elementary, middle school. I want to be Ted Ginn. I want to be Troy Smith. I want to be Freddie Lennox. I want to be Superman. You know what I mean? Now is their chance. So both sides gonna be ready. And then you look at this season. Both you got Hoban who's 7-0. You know what I mean? Sorry, excuse me, 6-0. They had a bye last week. So you got Hoban coming in at 6-0. Like we talked about Glenville. Don't let that 5-2 record fool you. Don't look at them two losses.
right.
They lost to IMG at IMG. They lose to Avon, who's 7-0, one of the better teams in Northeast Ohio. And I'm pretty sure they sit number one right now in the computer rankings in their region. So their two losses against two big time teams. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And then Coach Ginn is a genius because the Senate League isn't the best league as far as their conference, inner city Cleveland. But you look at them games they playing outside of their Senate League, IMG, Avon, Hoban tomorrow night. So he's making sure his kids is battle tested. So when they get to the playoffs to try to defend this state championship, they're ready. And like you said, both teams gonna be ready to go. We can't wait. Interviews, media between the lines with Coach Stella. We're gonna be in the house,
We're gonna
baby.
be there.
We're gonna
We're
be
gonna be
there.
there.
And it's gonna be a great night. And then shout out and good luck to both teams, man. I hope everybody play well, everybody stay healthy. And congratulations to both staff and good luck to everybody the rest of the
A
year.
lot of
baby.
Ohio State commits playing tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And let's segue into our Stella spotlight. Now, like you said, Glenville got a couple Ohio State commits. We know Hoban got a lot of Division One players. Their highest ranked player this year is probably William Satterwhite, who's going to Tennessee. But I wanted to touch on two players who don't get as much shine as always. Let's start with Glenville senior offensive tackle Fred Johnson. He's a Louisville commit. He got a big job on Friday night.
Absolutely.
Hoban got pass rushers galore. Now it's going to be hard enough to try to stop all of them, but to help out the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, it makes them feel better if they know, okay, this left tackle got this side locked down, no matter who's rushing from that side. So, big Freddie Johnson going to Louisville, he got a big time job on the night. And then let's talk about somebody who's going to be directly opposite from him. Hoban, senior defensive end edge Devin Bell, committed to Miami of Ohio. I think Devin Bell, one of the better football players in Ohio. He's a little undersized for an edge rusher, about 6'1 and a half, close to 6'2, about 240, but he can go. So on my Stella spotlight, I wanted to shine some light on them two players. They don't get as much fanfare and hype as some of the other kids that they play with. But when you break the game down to lower levels, it's gonna really come down to this matchup on one side of the ball, of course.
Absolutely. And like you said, Fred Johnson, that's a defense who only giving up only 24 points combined total all season.
Whew.
So just a caveat on what you said, as far as him having to win those 101s, it's going to be imperative for them to win this game. His offense has to be on the field to put up some points.
Absolutely. The quarterback from Glenville must know that my blind side is protected. Because as a quarterback, he got to get to play. He got to manage the game like we talked about, try to be a playmaker at some points. So the last thing he can be thinking about is I can't get protected from my blind side and start looking at the rush and worrying about the rush. So shout out to Freddie Johnson. Shout out to Devin Bell. I know y'all can't wait for tomorrow night. I know y'all can't wait to play against each other. Iron sharpen iron. But that's going to be our Stella spotlight. That's going to be something I got my eyes on tomorrow.
Excited about that game.
Freddie Johnson versus Devin Bell.
I'm excited about.
I'm excited too. Next, baby. Let's talk about our Between the Lines with Coach Stella Player of the Week.
Indeed.
It's one of my favorite players of the week.
Talk about him, Coach.
Harding right now, 3-4. They ain't having the best year they wanted to start out like, but they gaining some traction right now. They're playing a little bit better. But our player of the week is junior quarterback Chaz Coleman. Chaz, you did your thing, baby. Of course, we from Warren, so, we love it. We love to be able to give our Warren kids a player of the week, but you deserved it. 9-16, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, when you watch Chaz play, man, he oozing with it. He got talent out the wazoo, easy gas. The ball come out his hands so pretty, long, lean, athletic. We seen him against Urson a couple weeks ago, being able to make a play with his feet, go run and score a touchdown with his feet. He can extend the play and make a play with his arm by extending the play, keeping his eyes down the field. And you can see him with every rep that he gets, every quarter, every half, every game, he get better and better.
Absolutely. And Chaz Coleman comes from a line of outstanding athletes, outstanding football players. So it's his time.
Yep.
And what I'm saying, when he's on the mound pitching, he puts on the show. He had a great game last week.
Yep.
But you know, Harding, they gaining some traction.
Yep.
I want him to ride this momentum, stay hungry. Chaz, block out everything, lead your team, bro.
Yep.
Lead the team. And but yeah, shout out to Chaz. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to the guys.
And like
Warren
you
G.
said, this is Chaz's moment. This is your moment. You know what I mean? It don't matter. A lot of things in life, it don't matter how it starts, it's how you finish and how you handle adversity. So I'm sure Chaz wanted to get the nod at the beginning of the year. Okay, he didn't. But he was ready what his number was called, and he's getting better and he's getting better and he's getting better. And again, he's only a junior. So I mean, if you're a college scout, if you're a college coach, and you watch film of Chaz Coleman, 6'5", 6'6", about 190, long, athletic, can throw it about 60 yards. You got a bright future,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Like
Jazz, just stay focused, man.
And like I said, it's no secret, right?
Nah, no
you
secret.
can't. First, like you said, he's 6'5", so
Yeah.
hide that.
Yeah.
And second, athletic. Can spin it, right?
Yep.
He can spin it.
Yep.
So he's checking all the blocks.
Yep.
The next thing you need to do is just lead and be a winner.
That's it. Lead, be a winner, stay grounded. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision. I like to tell my players, stay tunnel vision, stay right here. You got family, you got girlfriends, you got friends, you got haters all on the side. They grab and they reach it. Stay here, Chaz. Stay right here for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your team, and for the betterment of your future. So,
Absolutely.
again, shout out to Chaz for leading Harding to a win, 38-20 against the Boardman Spartans. You did your thing. Our Coach Stella, Player of the Week, Chaz Coleman, baby.
Yeah. Right back ain't cheating. Do it again.
You know it, baby. So here we go. We're going to our overtime segment. L, I'm going to let you start this one off, baby. Whatever type of question you got, whatever you want to ask me, we're going to chop it up for a minute. So our overtime segment right here, what you got for me, baby?
All right, what I got for you. It's week 7, right? We're going into week 8.
Going into week 8.
What team has outperformed your expectations thus far?
Okay.
And what team has underperformed through your expectations thus far this campaign?
It's crazy. I'm gonna do this. The team that has outperformed my expectations, I'm gonna kind of give you a leeway into one of my shout outs, so I'll get one of them out the way. It's the LeBray Vikings. Shout out to Coach John Elliott and his staff. They were 1-9 last year. They were 1-9. And when we went out and watched them practice, they had some good football players, but it wasn't like talent galore where you just walk out there and say, oh, it's a lot of talent out here. So, yeah, it's good football players. I'm not trying to take nothing away from those kids at LeBray at all. They got good football players, but they don't have an abundance of talent. So you got to give credit to Coach John Elliott and his staff. They 1-9 last year. At this point right now, they're 4-3. If the playoffs started today, they would host a playoff game. So for me, that's pretty easy as far as the team that's kind of outpunted my expectations. The team that hasn't, I'm going to give you 2 teams. I'm going to say Warren Harding and Cheney. I'm going to say Warren Harding and Cheney. And again, this ain't throwing no shade on either one. If you go watch Harding practice in the preseason and you see all that talent running around out there, it's like it's hard to believe you would think going into week 8 they would be 3-4. Now things happen, situations happen, and the coaching staff and the kids doing a great job of staying with it and building that momentum going into the playoffs right now with a chance to be back 500 if they win this week and be 4-4.
Right.
So this ain't no throwing no shade.
No, right.
I just expected more this year. But they showing me some character right now. They showing me some character right now. They gritting, they grinding, they clawing out some wins. It ain't a matter. This ain't a beauty contest.
Right.
So we don't care what they look like.
Right.
As long as we got more points than the other team when them clock hit triple zeros.
Right.
So I would say that. And as far as Cheney, again, they lost some big time talent, but I still thought they had enough talent coming back that they would have a little bit better year than they are. But I think the coaches at Cheney would agree with me. It's other things that's holding that team back. Right. That team is very talented, and they got one of the better players and one of the better athletes in our area, Matt Jones. Coach Antrim does a great job. He got a good staff. But sometimes it's just some other things that's going on that kind of stop you from reaching your full potential. But it's early. It's early. They got a good win last week against Mooney. Let's see if they can propel that into this week. And then I'm pretty sure next week they got Ursuline. So they got enough games to find some traction and keep clawing and play their best ball going into the playoffs. Because no matter what sport you're playing, you want to be playing your best ball going into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So to answer your question, I would say team that kind of outplayed my expectations so far is the LeBray Vikings. Shout out to Coach Elliott. And the two teams that's kind of, I don't even want to say underplayed. It just, they come in late. They just coming to the party late, and I would say that's Chaney and Harding. I would say Chaney and Harding. I got a question for you, though.
All right, shoot.
All right.
Run it down.
What area team do you see making the furthest run in the playoffs, and how far do you see them going? Again, what team in the area do you see making the deepest playoff run, and how far exactly do you see them going? And I'm gonna answer it too. I'm gonna let you go first, bro.
All right, yeah. It's not. I'm not a big fan of snap calling.
Right.
You know, you play poker. You know, what I'm saying snap calling real quick. I could answer that question in a millisecond. Right now, the Ursuline Irish they the bouncers in the daycare, man.
Yeah.
They the bouncers in the daycare.
Shout out to Coach Reardon and the Ursuline Irish.
They when and I didn't even have low expectations for them.
Right.
But had the pleasure of being around that program a few times beginning of the year and seeing them play this season and watching how they're going about handling their business, watching how the players interact with each other, watching how the coaching staff galvanize their troops to execute. And you mentioned this last episode, Jack Erickson. Right. Listen.
The general.
I want y'all to if all these teams that have played Ursuline, if you haven't ever talked to Jack Erickson, I just want y'all to know that y'all getting y'all butts kicked by the nicest guy in America, bro. I swear to you, bro, listen.
Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Jack's family and the coaching staff. Y'all doing an amazing job with Jack, man.
When he on in between them lines, he nasty, bro. Yeah, I done seen him. He's pushing. He's carrying the business into the end zone.
Yep.
He's flexing.
Yep.
And when he takes his helmet off, Jimmy Neutron.
Yep.
You know, respectfully, but shout out to the General, Jack Erickson.
The General.
And everybody that's playing Ursuline, just know that's a madman. Because once he get through handling his business and he pop his top, nicest kid in America. I swear, man.
If you interview Jack at practice, like you said, to piggyback off your point, Jack might be one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. So again, shout out to his parents and his family. Y'all did an amazing job. When you see Jack on the sideline on game night, interacting with his teammates, interacting with his coaches, competing on the field, he's a different guy. He's a different guy. In a high school form, I don't need nobody out there losing their mind. In a high school form, reminds you of Tom Brady.
I knew you was going to say that.
Reminds you of Tom Brady.
How he handled his business.
How he goes about his business. Again, if you talk to him at practice, outside the lines, helmet off, he's the nicest guy in the world. You can tell he was raised right. He looks you in the eye. He speaks up. He knows how to communicate. He's just a great kid. As soon as he put that helmet on, you get him on game night. You put him around his teammates and his coaches on sideline, he turns into an animal. So, you know, it's a little bit off subject, but shout out to the general.
Control anger.
Yep.
Absolutely. But it's off subject, but it's not. It's really right about Jack, but it's, you know, when you add that couple that with Coach Reardon.
Yep.
And because it's not just always a given that that's a Cadillac that they driving over there at Ursuline. You got 1,000-yard rushers. You got shout out Devontae Taylor, aka go get you 2 of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Head tap.
You know, all that. So, and not to mention the other playmakers. You know, they got so many.
Tyron Davis, DC Farrell, Christian Lentz, Jack Erickson, Devontae Taylor, Jacquees Liaison.
So he's driving a Cadillac for sure.
Yep.
Right. But it's one thing to have a Cadillac, it's another thing to keep it clean, keep not a scratch on it, and be able to
see it dirty
and get it on the highway and actually be able to put some miles up, put some points on the board, and be an intricate part of that with all those weapons.
Absolutely.
So what Ursuline doing over there, like I said, they are the bouncers in the daycare, and everybody better get in line. I expect to see Coach Reardon cementing this pattern very soon.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna give you 2 teams because, of course, Ursuline is one. So to piggyback everything you said, Ursuline, they just playing great right now. Great staff, good football players, good quarterback, good defense. Shout out Coach McGlynn doing a great job with the defense. Shout out Tyreek Dunlow. He don't get a lot of love for the defense, holding the defense down. So right now, of course, Ursuline is one of those teams. And I would say, I don't know what week. I think they go. I'm not saying they lose, but they go. Only team I can see that really, really giving them problems, and I could be wrong, but my opinion is Toledo Central Catholic. So I'm anticipating that showdown in week 14 or week 15. Again, I can say it. We don't coach or play for Ursuline, so we can look down the road. I expect them to be get to week 14, week 15. The other team in the area I would say is I gotta stick with South Range. Just because they just won it last year. You know what I mean? What Rudy Thompson would say. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And they're playing their best ball going into the playoffs. It looks different from last year, but it's just as effective. It's just as effective. So if I had to say two teams, I would say Ursuline and I would say South Range. I can see them getting to week 13, week 14, week 15. I had to kind of wait to the playoffs to kind of see how South Range's playoff season, all that playoff first. I expect Ursuline to get to week 14, week 15 to play Toledo Central Catholic. And at that point, anything can happen. So again, shout out to both teams. Coach Dave Rock at South Range, Coach Reardon at Ursuline. Y'all doing an amazing job. And we here send y'all all the support and good luck. But that's my answers as far as the teams in the area. I can see going the farthest and having the deepest run in the playoffs. Here we go. Shout outs, baby. Shout outs, baby. Talk to me, El. Give me some shout outs, baby. Who you shouting out this week?
Always shouting out the fam. You know always shouting out the guys.
You know it. Love you, bro.
Everybody. Definitely shout out Coach Arnold. He just had his birthday. So
shout out Coach Arnold.
Shout out Coach Arnold, man. Coach Arnold coached me and my son. So
okay.
Man, he's still coaching. So
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Give him his flowers, man. Yeah. Shout out, Coach. Keep doing your thizzle.
I got it.
Yeah, man. But everybody out there, you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I'm gonna say shout out to the family, of course, my kids. Warren, Ohio, as always. Howland High School, as always. JFK, Liberty, Harding, all the places I've been at is all love. So I'm gonna shout them out always. Couple special shout outs I got. First, let's talk about senior quarterback Poochie Snyder from Canton South. He became the all-time leading passer in Stark County history. Again, he became the all-time leading passer in Stark County history, throwing for over 9,181 yards. That was the record, and he passed that. And I want to make sure I give a shout out to Cameron Blair.
Hold on.
He passed. You want me to go back?
He passed what?
The record was 9,181, and he passed it. So unfortunately, Poochie left the game early with an injury.
D-Zam.
You know what I mean? So he had to leave the game early. So I don't know exactly where he's at right now as far as yards market, but he broke the record. 9,181 was the record held by Cameron Blair of Sandy Valley. So shout out to Cameron Blair from Sandy Valley for being the record holder for a long time. Shout out to Poochie Snyder for being the guy to get that record broken. And now it's you. You the king, you the crown now. You got it. So you the all-time leading passer in Stark County history. We talked about LeBray and Coach Elliott. So, again, shout out to the LeBray and Coach Elliott and their staff. And one more shout out, special shout out. I want to make sure I give out from Between the Lines with Coach Stella from Interviews Media TV is we want to give a shout out to former Fitch Falcon and current Westerville North defensive lineman, senior Brian Robinson, committed to Kentucky. You know what I mean? We know he had some unfortunate stuff happen at Fitch. We don't know exactly what happened, but we know he's not there no more. He's at Westerville.
Landed on his feet.
But he landed on his feet. Shout out to the kid and his family. He committed to Kentucky. Shout out to Coach Stoops and Coach Morrow down at Kentucky for getting another Youngstown kid, another area kid to bring down there. They do a great job with Ohio recruits and Trimmer Mahoney County recruits as always. Shout out to my guy, Lynn Bowden, for going down there and setting the mark for these kids. A lot of these kids in the area, when they get that Kentucky offer, it means a lot just for the simple fact that Lynn Bowden went there. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure I give that shout out to Brian Robinson. Like you said, way to land on your feet. You're a great kid, good football player, and we wish you nothing but success and luck in your future at the University of Kentucky. Man, time fly when you're having fun.
Hold on. I think I can one up you on a shout out too. Okay. Hold up.
Talk to me.
Nah, I must have been about to lie or something. I forgot.
Talk to me.
Damn. Don't worry about it, man. I'll
Okay.
tell you next day. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Charge it to my mind,
Hey.
not my heart. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to whoever I was about to say shout out to,
Whoever.
man, on my soul. It's
Don't
gonna
mind
come
my
to
brother.
me.
He getting a little old. You know what I mean? Sometimes it skip a beat. It happens to the
did.
best of us. Shout out
It's
to
all
Warren,
good.
Ohio. Shout out to my boy Slim Thuggo over there on the ones and twos, making everything
Showed up,
look
man.
good. A lot of people been giving me compliments. Y'all got an ESPN feel. I like y'all graphics. I like y'all audio. I like y'all visual. That shout out to the guy King Will. Willie got him on IG. Make sure y'all hit him up, show him some love.
All your production needs. He really the illest.
Holla at him, man.
One of the
Holla at
illest
him.
ones doing it right now.
Yep, holla at him
Shout
and
out
just
to
keep
the
telling him
guy.
he's doing good. Keep giving him that motivation. We need to let him know how special and how talented he is so he can keep going. Shout out to Don C at the crib, still part of the family. Got a lot of stuff going on right now. Shout out to Don C. And lastly, like I always do, shout out to my brother, your media company, bro. You set the foundation, you set the platform. Shout out to the family. Shout out to
Niles calling. Niles calling.
Hey,
you know
man, we out.
Holler at you.
Between the lines with Coach Stella, baby. We be back next week. We in
together.
The house tomorrow. We in the house tomorrow. Glenville at Hope, and make sure y'all dialed in. Love, baby. We out.